tonight, guesting here for Peterborough in place of their skipper, Ron Sullivan, 33-year-old. His 2 performances here, 2 visits here, 12 points and 10, not bad. In gate number 2 in the white helmet colours, that's Greg Hancock. Gate 3 in the blue helmet colours is David Howe, the 18-year-old who goes off to the World Under-21 Championship. And on the outside, Stuart Robson. And I have to tell you, Stuart Robson has got just 7 points in his last 5 away meetings. Not too good away from home. But Ronnie Corrie on the inside in place of Ron Sullivan tonight. Peter's going to be tough. Starling Marshall walks away.
It's going to be close, Tony, that's for sure.
Away they go on the inside. Ronnie Corrie is duped to that by Greg Hancock. Hancock picks it up going round the outside. His teammate Stuart Robson, but it's Corrie in the red helmet colours picks it up behind Greg Hancock. Tailed off at the rear. Disappointment for David Howe, but a real flyer from the start by Greg Hancock.
Yeah, great start from Greg Hancock, Tony. It's very important to ride the inside line, certainly in Heat 1, because that's where all the dirt is at the beginning of the meeting, and it's a bit wet out there at first, but it is going to dry out, we know that.
Greg Hancock, double figures in each of his last 6 meetings. The man in form at the moment in the British Elite League, stretching his lead down that back straight with a lap and a half to go. Way at the back, they've got problems here because Stuart Robson now is behind David Howe, who's come through, and Robson's dismal away record is continuing as we go into the final lap. But the man in white there, Greg Hancock, will take the 3 race points for this. There'll be a share. Stuart Robson really struggling at the back, but the man in white, Greg Hancock, for the visitors, is going to win this and take the checkered flag. Ahead of in second place, Ronnie Corrie, the guest. Third in blue is David Howe. 3 points apiece, the heat score. Dead level after 1 heat, but a great win for that man, Greg Hancock. And remember his recent record, he's failed to reach double figures in only 4 of his 30 meetings, and Greg Hancock has set the tone on this one.
From the tapes and going back to try and clear.
There's the lineup. Scott Robson in white on the inside for Coventry. Nigel Sadler for Peterborough in red, gate 2. John Jorgensen, who I have to tell you is a special night for him here because he's making his 2,400 heat start tonight for Coventry. And on the outside for Peterborough, it's Brett Woodyfield. That's Coventry 3. This reserves heat, this heat number 2. Away goes our Starling Marshall, and they jet for the tapes, and it's a great start for Stuart Robson. Scott Robson rather on the inside, but the Peterborough riders packing behind him. Nigel Sadler in red, back in third in blue there. That is Brett Woodyfield. Disappointment at the end, at the back for John Jorgensen, but what a flyer for Scott Robson. And this man has hit form at the right time.
He has, Tony, you're dead right, and this is the kind of thing that wins matches, because if the reserves can win this heat, then there we've got John Jorgensen having problems, and it looked to me as though he hadn't switched his fuel on, Tony.
Well, John Jorgensen really struggling and now well out of this, but not his teammate and partner out front, because Scott Robson is flying down that back straight ahead of the 2 pairs, the 2 riders for Peterborough. In red, Nigel Sadler. In blue, Brett Woodyfield. Remember the home riders, that's the Peterborough men here tonight, where the red and the blue helmet colours, the visitors white and yellow and black. And this man in front in the white helmet colour is Scott Robson, and he's going to provide a second successive heat winner for the visitors from Coventry here tonight. A great win for him in white, ahead of in red in second place, Nigel Sadler. In blue in third place is Brett Woodyfield. That's the second successive 3-all. It's now 6 points apiece with 13 heats to go, and a great win for that man, Scott Robson, winning the reserves heat there. And
how was it out there?
Yeah, it was all right. It was coming in the first and second turn. It was a bit driving forward as you get the starting gate, but it's all right.
Can I say, Scott, I mean, that was a tremendous win for you, and you're going to need that because the reserves, you're going to play a pretty important part to the success if Coventry can win this one. Now, you just came off last week at Coventry having a really good race meeting, didn't you? You won Heat 13, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a good meeting last week. The bike was brilliant, and everything just seemed to go good. Like it was.
How much of the bike changes would you make for a track like this compared to Coventry?
Actually, it's just been off to get redone, new rings and stuff in. Apart from that, it's exactly the same.
Right. Well, you're looking good form. Did Greg Hancock help you out by making sure you got gate 1 in that second heat when he chose gate 2 and 4?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Okay.
What about your own form? I mean, you talk about the bike. I mean, you've obviously had something to change, double figures, as you said, against Bellevue. What about you feeling? How are you feeling personally about riding?
I've been enjoying it. It's just the last meeting has been very good, so hopefully it's the turning point and things can just hopefully get better.
All right, well, what setup, if anything, in terms of changes will you make?
I don't know. I'll maybe change again and I'll just watch the next few rides and see how the track changes.
All right, well, they're about to start Start riding.
Howe, the rider replacement on the inside in blue for the home team Peterborough. Gate 2 is Lee Richardson for Coventry in white. For Peterborough, Sam Taysar, the man in form, in red. On the outside, Sean Tacey in yellow and black. It's going to be tough for him from that outside gate, but the form-man in this is
certainly the best at the moment.
The starting marshal gets away, they tapes fly up and away they go, and again a man in white leads as Lee Richardson shoots to the front. His teammate and partner Sean Tacey bolt to the back, but Sam Taysar comes through into second place and goes a shade wide for Peterborough. Back in third place, that is the rider replacement David Howe, and another 3-all they're set for here, but each time a Coventry rider has jetted from the tapes, established a lead, and he's done it again in Lee Richardson, Peter.
Yeah, Lee certainly seems to have got himself over that illness that he had at the start of the season. He's riding very, very well now, and he's still the current world under-21 champion until they run the final next week, this weekend. So he's enjoying it. He's having a good ride in this one, Tony.
Well, the man in third place, David Howe, is in that world under-21 final in Gortsov in Poland this weekend. But Lee Richardson is the man showing his class out front for Coventry here. Sam Taysar in red is trying to put him under some pressure down the back straight for the home team Peterborough. But Lee Richardson looks to be smooth, looks to have his wheels in line, has time to look back and takes the checkered flag there. And again, with the rider in red, Sam Taysar in second place and David Howe in third. That's the third successive 3-all. It's now Peterborough 9, Coventry 9, with 3 heats gone and 12 to go. And a magnificent ride by Lee Richardson.
Riding here.
Yeah, it's not a bad track. It's quite a big track. It's very circular with hardly any straights. It's quite fast, but quite a home track advantage. So we've got to have a good win here tonight.
I just want to note, Lee, very explosive from the start. I mean, you just right out of that gate, and your motor seemed really quick. You seem to be very comfortable. Does it feel as good as it looks?
Yes and no. I think it was revving a little bit too much. So I'm going to change a tooth, and I see it there. It came out the start good, and I had a good first corner, but the track's a little bit inconsistent. There's a bit of patches like there that sort of make the bike pick up a little bit. So I think I'm going to go down another tooth. So I think when I was hitting it, it was back all spinning so much, it was actually taken off a little bit.
Whenever Greg maybe described how the track was or whatever, do you find it the same as what he described, or how does it feel? I mean, you just explained how it is, but compared to what he had said.
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's quite tricky coming in the first and second corner, I think you can see, and it's got patches where it's quite wet slick, which is, as you know, the worst conditions to ride on. So it's a little bit tricky, but I think it'll get good as the meeting goes on because the dirt line will move further and further out.
I was very impressed with your start, very explosive. I think you're going to probably be able to do some damage to some of those heat leaders and make it all count. Keep it going for your team, buddy.
Cheers, Sam.
Well, you just mentioned you're going to make some adjustments. We'll let you go and do them. Thanks for coming in.
Why not? Sees Brett Woodfield already. One ride tonight. Brett Woodfield in the third place for Peterborough. He's in blue on the inside. John Jorgensen is his 19th year in British Speedway. He goes for Coventry, the 38-year-old. Gate 3, it's Peter Carlson in red, and on the outside, Joe Screen is the guest rider for Coventry. And remember, in his last visit here, he got paid 18 points from 7 rides for Eastbourne, the highest scoring visitor here this season. What a man to have as the Coventry guest.
To replace number 1s. So he's the inform man, getting lots of guest rides.
Well, there he is. That's Joe Screen in the white helmet colours. Our starting marshal moves away up by the tape. Screen has to go from the outside, but this time it's the Peterborough men that pick it up. And Peter Carlson, their flying captain in red, goes round the outside ahead of his teammate and partner Brett Woodfield. And now it's Joe Screen picking up the grip and going round Brett Woodfield as if he's standing still, but Woodfield comes back, picks up the inside line, and now more work for Screen. A real battle in second place there. Out front it's Peter Carlson way in front, but look at the battle between Joe Screen and Brett Woodfield in second place, Peter. What a battle!
Yeah, Joe was going round him all the time there. Woodfield did really well to hold Joe off, and really Joe sold him a dummy there because Joe went wide and then chopped back to the inside to gain that second place, but there's no way that he's going to catch Peter Carlson, who is flying, Tony.
Carlson way out front with a lap to go, but the men in second place, it's now Joe Screen who's setting off, but he's not going to catch Peter Carlson. Disappointment for Woodfield. At the rear, John Jorgensen is once again struggling, but Peter Carlson, this man in red, is going to provide the first heat winner of the night for the home team Peterborough, ahead of Joe Screen. Back in third place in blue is Brett Woodfield. That's a 4-2 margin for the home team, who establish a lead for the first time tonight by 13 points to Taysar for Peterborough in red from gate 2. Greg Hancock goes from gate 3, the Coventry captain, and on the outside, Nigel Sadler in blue. Greg Hancock would be my favourite for this one, PC.
Yeah, can Greg do it again? I mean, he just shot off in that first race like a rocket. There was nobody going to catch him. And let's see what he can do against Sam Taysar in this one.
This is Peter Thompson here at the East of England Showground. The tapes will be let go by referee Tony Steele, which he does quickly, and Sam Taysar flashes to the front, but Greg Hancock is going to have to work and is doing so. Greg Hancock's going out in pursuit of Sam Taysar, and there could be a tremendous battle between these two out front. Hancock has taken Stuart Robson with him. Back at the rear is Nigel Sadler, but we've got a race on in front here as Hancock goes through. A brilliant ride by the American to go past Sam.
Fantastic, and also Stuart Robson's in there as well, but Hancock, the way he went past Sam Taysar there was brilliant because he tried outside, then inside, as Joe screened it earlier, and now he's got fresh air in front of him, and Sam Taysar really is now having to settle for that second place.
Well, little contest really at the back of the man in blue there, Nigel Sadler, not at the races, and if it stays like this, it'll be a 4-2 to Coventry and will level up the scores with 5 each gone. But Greg Hancock seems to be going faster and faster. But look at the challenge, because in second place, Stuart Robson has now gone past Sam Taysar, and this will take Coventry into the lead. The checkered flag is in sight there. In white, it's taken by Greg Hancock, his teammate and partner, Stuart Robson. A tremendous ride for him. He found something out of nothing to gain second place behind his partner. The crowd here are absolutely stunned by a 5-1 heat victory for the visitors, who now take the lead. It's Peterborough 14, Coventry 16 with
place into second place. Now he's chasing Sam Taysar here, and now he's cut back to the inside, and that really is where Sam Taysar was caught out there by Greg Hancock. Greg just zoomed through into the lead. Again, we see this, a bad start from Greg Hancock, really bad, because he's in the thick of the traffic there on the first turn, but he really does soon make a way for himself round that outside into second place. He lines up Sam Taysar. Sam's riding a good line, but Greg's cut back to the inside there. There's dirt still low down over the start and finish there. We can see that Greg Hancock has got at least 6 metres lead, and there Stuart Robson also on Sam Taysar. He rides right round in that dirt on the outside. The bike just picked up there on the back wheel, and fantastic to grab that second place there to follow home his teammate Greg Hancock.
Well, the heat turned on his head, and the two Coventry riders are in the studio. I wonder if it's going to change the meeting their way.
Yeah, they were watching that with great interest. A big smile on Stuart's face when he saw that overtake. Tell us about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't really making any ground up on the inside. I was just kind of staying level with him, and I didn't get any closer, and I just thought of, I had to try something. He'd moved in tight as it happened as well. I got so much grip as I came in, and it managed to pull us around lovely.
What did you make of that then, Sam?
Well, I can say one thing. I'm just going to go with what Peter Collins said. Greg, did you miss that start, or were you just not ready, or what was going on there?
I'd like to say I wasn't ready, but I missed it.
Did you? Okay.
I spun up right from the word go.
Let's take a look at it again. Look.
You can see as soon as I dropped the clutch, it just didn't do anything. I just lit the back wheel up, and when I got to the corner, it started to go a little bit. So then I just let it run. I just tried to keep my wheels in line as much as I could, and found the grip, and it just started to pull. So I tried to stay out of his spray there, just on the outside of him, and going to the next corner, I just rode it until I could see a little bit of clear light, and I turned back up the inside and got all the grip that I needed to get underneath him.
You knew Sam was on form though here, and he proved it again, but you got by him.
That's right. I could see he was going there, and he ran it just a little bit too wide going into that corner, and left me just enough room to track it right, and I turned back and made the move.
You know the beauty about that old Stuart behind you, brother. You just went and worked him. You seen Sammy Taysar just look at it, just working him on the outside and say, "Come on, I'm in the dirt, buddy. Let's go!" And what a race!
I'd seen what Greg did on the first lap, and I was trying to do the same thing. I was trying to pull it out tight, come under him down the straight or coming out the corner, but it just wasn't happening. As he drifted in slightly, he got tighter and tighter each lap. And I just ran it in the deep stuff and just held on for dear life.
You're just a man.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, Sam's got his £2 of Sky Sports money on you tonight. He reckons you guys are going to do it, but you started well, haven't you?
What a gamble. That's a good bet, man. Yeah, we feel good, and the guys are riding well. Get a couple of the guys going now in the next couple of heats, and I feel good.
Track, will it change anymore? Will you change anymore?
It will now. It's starting to slicken off a little bit. It was quite mucky there for a little while, and it's starting to move out a little bit, even out. But down the straights, you tend to get like the thing almost aquaplanes a little bit. Gets on top of the dirt and gets a little squirrely, but it'll get better.
Well, great job, guys. So get back.
Inside, David Howe in blue for Peterborough. Gate 2, Joe Screen for Coventry in white. Gate 3 belongs to Ronnie Corrie in red for Peterborough, the guest. And Scott Robson, who won his first race tonight, goes in yellow on the outside. Very close on the outside, those two. Scott Robson going very close, but look at this, picking it up in white there, and yet again, Joe Screen, who's riding for Coventry tonight, stretches that lead down the back straight ahead of, in blue, David Howe, and in red, Ronnie Corrie. This set for a 3-all because at the rear, Scott Robson is struggling, but with a lap gone, Joe Screen got an absolute flyer, PC.
Yeah, great start from Joe. Look at the line he's riding now. He's riding much, much wider than all the rest of the boys in the earlier heats. That dirt's moving out wide. Look how wide Joe is. His legs at the back of the bike to balance it with all that grip that he's getting out wide.
And he's going really very, very fast. Is our Joe Screen now as he stretches that lead. At the back, there are real problems here because Scott Robson is really struggling behind Ronnie Corrie, and Corrie might have expected to do better than this, but with a lap to go, Joe Screen is going to provide yet another heat victory, and it'll be the 5th of the night in 6 races for the visitors from Coventry, because Joe Screen is fast, and Joe Screen knows exactly where he's going to take the checkered flag ahead of the rider in blue, David Howe. His teammate Ronnie Corrie in red is in 3rd place, which means again a share of the points at 3-all for the 4th time tonight. It's Peterborough 17 now and 19 to the visitors from Coventry, who lead by 2 points. But Joe Screen
Look good there.
Yeah, I made a start then. The first one I sort of bogged down a bit, you know. It's quite heavy out there.
You looked very hooked up. All the rumors around here when we were watching you, Joe, is that it looked fast, maybe even track record. We don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, I popped off the start and just, you know, I'm trying something different tonight, and it's first one was a bit shady. You know, I found it hard to pass Brett in the first one, but then I got away, I could go where I want, you know, he's riding good. See, that's a good start for me, for my standards, so.
You know, I was
what did I do right, Sam?
Well, you did everything right by getting your nose in front from the word go, as PC was just saying there. But I can tell you, I was walking around the pits earlier and talking to some of the guys. Peter Carlson in his first race went out there and left Brett for a second, or basically left him, and he went out there and he was going. And he was going for it, going for like a track record, like, you know, and you look really fast right there.
Yeah,
and I'm just
I
hearing
that as well,
Half a second you were off the actual track record, so it's in there tonight. You can get it tonight.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe.
The track's good, but normally here they grade it that much. It gets slicker and slicker as the night goes on, and I think that was my best performance tonight.
Nah, you got more for that, Joe.
Yeah, we got more. What changes? Can you tell us what you've done, what you've made the difference to the bike?
Well, just sort of, the primary chain got really slack in the first one, so we just tightened that up a little bit because it was really, really slack. We tightened that up, but I made a start, that's all I did, you know, I made a start and just rode 2 wheels around and it was good.
You're looking good out there. We'll let you get back to the pits and make any changes you need to.
Goes on, of course, the track tends to get slower, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see the dirt moves out and the grip really needs to be round the inside. The track records normally go in the first 2 or 3 heats when the grip's right round the inside, when the riders are travelling at the shortest distance.
Move on to heat 7 now. Lee Richardson needs just 3 points for 200 for Coventry. He goes from the inside. Peter Carlson, Peterborough's only heat winner, goes from gate 2 in red. Sean Tacey, who's struggled so far tonight, he goes from gate 3, and on the outside, yet to provide a heat winner from that outside gate, and that's where Nigel Sadler is going in blue. Keep up the record of Coventry heat winners here tonight. Our starting marshal moves away. Up by the tapes, Lee Richardson does make it to the bed, takes his man. Whoa! Cold carnage there, and I have to tell you that Nigel Sadler was taken into the fence, in my view, by his own rider, Peter Carlson. That was extraordinary there, Peter Collins, because I have to say the referee, I think, is going to restart probably with all 4 here, but really on the first bend there, if we can see that again, Peter, it looked to me as if Peter Carlson took his own man into the fence.
Well, we got the domino effect again there. It was actually Lee Richardson that made a good start from gate 1 in the white, and he pushed across into Carlson. Carlson then went across into Sadler. We can see it on the first turn. Carlson really's got nowhere to go. He gets squashed between Lee Richardson and his teammate, and on the outside, Nigel Sadler is the one that takes the brunt of it all and gets pushed off into the fence. That's what we call the domino effect there. Peter Carlson really wasn't at fault. I would say that the referee should put all 4 riders back in that first corner bunching.
And that's exactly what our referee Tony Steele has done. He said all 4 riders will go in, and look at that. A bit unfortunate that, but the man in red there, Peter Carlson, speared his own man, but you have to say perhaps Lee Richardson took him, as you said, Peter, just a little bit. Carlson, the Peterborough captain, goes from gate 2. It's Sean Tacey, who was left a bit at the tapes in the original start there in yellow for Coventry, and on the outside, Nigel Sadler, who took the fence buffeting. He goes from the outside in blue. Last man coming round to tapes is the unfortunate Nigel Sadler. Sore shoulder and all to take his place on the outside gate that has yet to provide the ground with a little bit of condensation under his visor. But I think we're ready to go now. Restart then, and away they go, and again it's Lee Richardson that keeps it down. Coming across in blue is Nigel Sadler. Sadler picks up speed round the outside, and there's a race on out front here, but now Lee Richardson pulls away ahead of the Peterborough pair, led by blue Nigel Sadler. Peter Carlson is now on the inside, but they're picking their place on the track here, and Lee Richardson out front has got it exactly right, but the Peterborough men have work to do.
Yeah, the Peterborough boys, Carlson and Sadler, are having a real good go here. Nigel Sadler had a great first corner, but Lee Richardson's just steaming away from them, and it really is good to see him fit again after that real nagging illness that balked him right through the beginning of the year.
Well, we saw him, of course, but look at the back here. They're really struggling at the back there, and Sean Tacey in yellow is again in last place, but Lee Richardson, who we saw that illness struck when we did a meeting at Ipswich, he was in, but look at the pressure here. Carlson is coming round. A brilliant ride by Peter Carlson to take Lee Richardson. Lee Richardson will try to come back again, but Carlson holds him off to take the checkered flag. The best race of the night. Richardson somehow caught napping. Third place in yellow goes to Sean Tacey here. Disappointment in blue for Nigel Sadler, and well, a tremendous ride, but it's another 3-all here by Peter Carlson for the second time tonight.
And we can see that Lee Richardson makes the start again, and Peter Carlson decides this time he's not going to be the meat in the sandwich. Peter in the red helmet cuts back to the inside, but in doing that it allows Nigel Sadler to come around the outside and Lee Richardson to get away. So at this point Peter Carlson is back in third place, and Nigel Sadler looks to be having a really good ride in this one, but already Peter Carlson has decided he's going to try the very, very tight line, front wheel on the grass. He's just about to go by his teammate there, Nigel Sadler, stops Nigel's run. Now Peter in the red helmet is now catching Lee Richardson here. He's very, very tight here now. He gets his wheels in line early. On the pits turn here, he goes very, very wide. Now you can see he just cuts back up the inside. Now he gets his wheels in line straight away and makes such a long straight. That is Mark Laram style. We've seen Mark Laram do that so often, and you get the wheels in line, make a very long straight, turn very, very late by the fence. We can see another angle of this one. That straight there up the inside, no one's been riding down the inside of the straight, all the grips low down, and look how wide he's gone now to have done that manoeuvre, and it allows Lee Richardson just to come back at him, but not enough, and Peter Carlson there did a marvellous manoeuvre.
Well, there was also a similar manoeuvre at the back where Sean Tacey came through to relegate Nigel.
He's riding really good right here, and he just basically just wore him down again, and just work him, just move him around a little bit and take the inside, boom, get another point. Actually, everything switched right then. It was going into Peterborough's favor, and now all of a sudden with them relegating to fourth place here, it upset it.
What it is about it from?
I don't know. John Jorgensen, though, is on the inside in yellow, and that's for the visitors from Coventry. It's Brett Woodfield, the Peterborough Reserve, goes in blue from gate 2. Stuart Robson for Coventry in white, gate 3. On the outside, it's David Howe in red. A reminder, the lesser lights and reserves in this one, it's Hoodoo, and in Coventry in front. They lead by 2 points, and away they go, and he does get away fast there, John Jorgensen, but in red, it's David Howe putting him under pressure on the outside. On the inside in blue, it's Brett Woodfield, tailed off at the back. It's Stuart Robson, but John Jorgensen is being taken wide there by David Howe, who picks it up. A brilliant ride by the man who's on his way to the World Under-21 final this coming weekend. The Peterborough fans are cheering, and a great corner that was by David Howe.
A great corner from David Howe. Could we be looking at the next Under-21 world champion? With a manoeuvre like that, it could be possible, because he used that inside line perfectly. He's riding that inside very, very well, even though it's perhaps not the grippiest line. But again, we've got the rider in white, Stuart Robson, holding on to that third place there, ahead of the rider in blue, who's really having a go, Brett Woodfield.
While all on the last lap here, but David Howe is streets ahead out front in red. The man in second place is John Jorgensen in yellow. The points are up for grabs at the rear. We'll have to see what happens there. But the checkered flag to David Howe now. Second place in yellow and black, but third in white. It goes to Stuart Robson, and that means yet another 3-all. This meeting stays desperately close. It's Peterborough 23, Coventry 25, with 8 heats gone and 7 to go. The congratulations there to young Dave.
Look there on the inside, John Jorgensen makes a perfect start to that first corner. But but he just leaves a bit of a gap right there around the inside. Brett Woodyfield has a go, but look on the outside there in the red, David Howe. He's got all that speed that he's carried from the pits bend. He's dropped right down to the inside. He's alongside there, John Jorgensen, onto the start and finish straight there. David Howe has just got the right line, push Jorgensen a little bit wide, and David just carries on there. Now that was a great manoeuvre from David, but also here we are at the back. Riding white, Stuart Robson has just cut up the inside there of Brett Woodyfield, who got it all wrong. A bad mistake from Brett there. He lost it in the middle of the corner, and that allowed Stuart Robson to get that very, very important third place in that 3-3.
Well, a third place was mighty important, but at the back it counted as well. But the man out front was David Howe, and well, if he rides like that at the weekend, and he rides in that World Under-21 Championship in Poland, well, who knows what will happen. Stuart Robson there, valuable third place for him to relegate Brett Woodyfield to last. He held on to it there and did well. Brett Woodyfield almost coming through, but the Peterborough fans disappointed by that.
Yeah, I've been going pretty well. Not been gating very well in the last couple of matches, 2 matches. Made a few changes that one, and I made a decent start that time, so hopefully we're working for the next one and make a good one.
Are you riding one of the bikes that you plan on taking with you?
Yeah, I've got a couple of choices, but I've got one that I think will suit the track. And
are you riding it now? Is what I asked.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's been serviced, and it's a little bit tight. It's not revving clean, and that was the first one. It really felt good.
When you took a pass on John Jorgensen there, did you know that he's a little bit injured and riding a little bit weak, or did you just ride it because you just wanted to win it?
I was wanting to win it. I didn't know he was injured.
Okay, well, it's fair play, you know, because easy picking sometimes.
Yeah. Looking ahead to this weekend, you know, it's a big weekend for you. Mark Laram, obviously everybody's talking about him in the Grand Prix, but you've got a chance to be a World Championship winner yourself. How about that?
Well, it's going to be hard. It's been in Poland because obviously the Poles are the favourites there, and there's some good riders in it, but I've still got another 3 attempts after this, so people think
it's not bad to have 3 in the sack, is it?
People think I'm older than I am. Yeah, I've just turned 18, so I've still got plenty of shots at it, but I'm looking for a top 8 place.
Great experience, yeah.
And guess what? The youngest and the oldest.
You could say that. The youngest and the oldest in the Elite League, right here, live here on Sky Sports. We're so lucky. Listen, David, go and get yourself set up, and well done again.
Thanks, Paddy.
For Coventry on the inside in white. It's Nigel Sadler in blue for Peterborough. Nigel Sadler has 2 points tonight from 3 rides. On the third gate there is Scott Robson. Scott Robson won his first heat. A dramatic third place that counted in the last race. And here on the outside is Sam Taysar. And Sam Taysar disappointing 3 points from his 2 rides so far, because he has been the form man for Peterborough. But work to do. Starting Marshall moves away, up fly the tapes. Joe Screen on the inside has work to do this time, and almost goes right across on the grass. That'll be interesting, because it looks as if he had both wheels on the grass at one stage there. But the Peterborough men are leading this one, and Sam Taysar is flying. He must have changed something here. He's going wide, he's picked up the grip, he's picked up the speed. Nigel Sadler is with him in second place. Joe Screen is going round him on the outside. He's baulked by Sadler. Back at the rear is Scott Robson. The race is over for Sam Taysar out front. The battle in second place is where it's going to count here, and where this heat advantage or otherwise is going to be decided, because if it stays like this, it could be 5-1 to Peterborough.
Yeah, Nigel Sadler's having a great ride here, just holding off the challenges from Joe Screen. Joe Screen will carry on this challenge for the whole 4 laps if he doesn't get by, but Nigel Sadler's doing real well to hold him off.
Well, if it stays like this, the lead will revert to Peterborough. It's a ding-dong banner, but look at the back. Screen has packed up, and that means that it's going to go the way of Peterborough here with a massive 5-1 victory. Sam Taysar takes the checkered flag. Nigel Sadler gets the consolation 2 points. A last place there, or third place rather, for Scott Robson, and Joe Screen has struggled there and retired. Clearly motor problems there for Joe Screen. No disappointment though for Sam Taysar. A great ride by him. He will be delighted in his third ride to get his first heat victory of the night and put his team in front, because that 5-1 makes it 28-26 in favour of Peterborough with 9 heats gone and 6 to go. And a great
to the first turn from the outside position, but he's made a great stand. Now just look at Joe Screen. Joe's right down towards that grass, but I think, Tony, it was just his front wheel that was over the line. The referee certainly didn't call that, but there on the outside on the starting gate, Sam Taysar really got himself sorted out there. He's got a great run. He's got Joe Screen's back wheel very close, but just about on the line. But Sam Taysar and also Nigel Sadler having a great ride there to hold Screeney off. But as the race went on, really, Screeney never gave up. He was trying there with Nigel Sadler, but pulling away. Sam Taysar looks very, very fast. And there we can see Joe Screen coming up the inside, still challenging Nigel Sadler. But at that point, his bike just lets go. He looks down and seems to be there as not quite sure what the problem with that bike is there. Nothing visible, and Joe basically cruises round onto the centre green.
While Screen had problems, Sam Taysar didn't, and he's in our studio with Sam and Jonathan.
Yeah, you're looking at a man who scored over 2,200 points for the Peterborough Panthers and still making adjustments here in the studio, but great ride.
Yeah, still plenty to work on the bike. Great ride. You said, yeah, we lost Joe somewhere. I'm glad we went there. We made it with 5-1.
Important one, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very for us, yeah. So,
well, you didn't start off very good in the beginning of the meeting and have made many changes right now to the bike.
Yeah, I just swapped my gear, faster gear, and track's changed as well. It's
do you think gate 4 is
smoother now?
Gate 4 is a bit more of an advantage?
I guess it's nice and grippy.
Yeah,
it's going
stuff.
well.
Is it getting slicker? You talking about the change? How much has it changed?
I said I just swapped my gear, and probably I'll go down with gear again.
Yeah.
The thing I was going to say, the thing of it is, he did say to me earlier, the track was really kind of unmanageable in the early heats, and now it's smoothed out. He's obviously getting a good ride, and coming from gate 4 with his gear change, it's definitely helped him. I'm not putting words in your mouth, am I? Okay.
Well, keep giving us the fine entertainment, Sam. We'll let you get back and
Okay.
get yourself sorted out, mate.
There we go then. This is heat number 10, a really tight meeting, 2 points in and away they go. And now it is David Howe, confident as Sam Ermolenko said, who picks up the lead down that back straight there. The chase is on the outside. Lee Richardson in white is going the long way round, but picking up some real speed there, pursued by his teammate and partner, Sean Tacey. Back at the rear, surprisingly, the American Ronnie Corrie. But David Howe and Lee Richardson, two young riders. A battle is joined here between the emerging talent of British Speedway here. It's entertainment of the highest order from these two, PC.
Fantastic racing here. Lee Richardson's having a real good go there on David Howe, and Sean Tacey's just about hanging on to that third place there. Will the real Sean Tacey please stand up?
Well, I have to say that Ronnie Corrie is struggling here tonight at the back here because there are young riders in front of him. 3 young riders in front of him, and 33, the oldest rider in this heat. Down the back straight they go. It's not over yet with David Howe being pursued by Lee Richardson. Can Lee pick it up on that top bend? But David Howe is looking set for his second successive heat victory. He gets it there to the checkered flag ahead of in white Lee Richardson. Third in yellow is Sean Tacey. Yet another 3-all. The 2 point stays. It's 31 to Peterborough, 29 to Coventry. There are 5 heats to go. The meeting truly boiling up, but a great win for David Howe. His second in success.
It's a perfect start to the first corner, but just up there in the white helmet, Lee Richardson having a great go here, but Sean Tacey on the inside there grabs that third place. And at this point in the match, with the match being so close, every single point is so important. Sean Tacey there hanging on to that third place. On the outside, a good blast right round from Lee Richardson. He's really having a good go here at David Howe. On the start again, we see David off gate 2. Great start from him as he pulls down to the inside. He stops Sean Tacey. Sean Tacey's almost on the grass with his back wheel, but only the front wheel, which is okay with the ref. But on the outside, the fast line, Lee Richardson is having a real go around the outside, but David Howe knows his way around this track. There's no way that he's going to let Lee Richardson go by him here. Lee tried everything he knew. David looked across there, sees him on the outside, just shuts the gate there on Lee Richardson, stops him altogether and pulls away another 5 metres. And certainly that put Peterborough right back in the match.
Well, a tremendous match.
Lee Richardson's obviously piling in some points here. Joe's got a bike problem he's trying to get figured out right now. But as a team effort, yeah, I mean, Sam and I were just talking, this is quite a good match, and we're hanging right in there, and so are they, considering both of our teams are sort of down just slightly tonight.
Yeah, big injuries to both sides.
Exactly, that's right, and you know, we're finding it tough. The track's changed in every heat now. The dirt line's really moving a lot wider. It's getting quite slick on the inside, and so we're making the modifications to the bikes to get them to work to the conditions.
Well, I was just going to ask him that question about Heat 13 coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Gregory, Well, we can go to the one before that, heat 11, sorry. You're coming off gate 4. You said that the track, kind of the dirt's moving to the outside, so is that going to hopefully set you up for another win?
That's what I've been watching the last few heats, and some of the guys that are making a pretty good start from 4 seem to be just following the line all the way around. And if you need to make that first jump, you know how it is. You got to get the first sort of couple of meters, and then you're away. But if you find yourself level, hopefully they don't push you too wide. But I'll use it. I'm ready.
What's the effect on the team right now with Joe's problem? I mean, are you guys getting that sorted out?
They're getting it sorted out. He's got a vibration there somewhere, I think, that they're a little bit concerned about. They're not sure whether it's something to do with frame or if it's internal in the engine. But he'll get it figured out, and he's got his second bike ready too. So we need him to score the points now. We're desperate.
All right. Well, we've been seeing a lot of this man, Greg Hancock.
I mean, we've been a part of a couple of World Team Championships, and I think when the Americans get together, we're such a minority in Europe that when we get together, it's we explode.
Yeah, but you got some tough competition. The Australians are riding well, and of course the Swedes.
Of course, I mean, and the Australians are obviously defending champions as well. But we're coming to home turf. This is as close to home as it gets for us.
And it's British year though this year with Mark Laram leading the championship in the Grand Prix. What about Britain?
Hey, what can I say? I'm not going to count anybody out, but I'm not looking at those guys. We're just thinking about us.
Grand Prix though. What about the Grand Prix overall?
Overall, right now, I think for me, it's getting better all the time. But I'm climbing the ladder and looking at the guys at the top though. I think Lorem's got he's in the driver's seat by far. And if he can just keep his cool, I'm sure that he can hold Tony off without a doubt. And I got to say that right now, my money's on Mark.
Fair enough.
I think he's the guy.
Fair praise from the man who won this championship just a few years ago. Do you agree with that, Sam?
Well, I think it's a fair comment to say that Mark's a racer. If there's going to be any racing experience from America, we're all racers, aren't we? So I mean, he's just proven it, and Tony's been there a couple times. So I mean, at the moment, Mark's probably got the best chance to. He's in the driver's seat, as Greg says. If he just races and the track suit him, he's going to be on his way, isn't he?
That's right.
It's Stuart Robson that goes from gate 2 in yellow for Coventry. In blue for Peterborough, it's Nigel Sadler, gate 3 on the outside. Greg Hancock, and as Sam Omalenko said, he will have to charge across Thomas Golub fashion from the outside, DC. Carlson in red, Greg Hancock in white. Up by the Tates, Carlson struggles to keep it down. Hancock comes across, picks up speed round the outside and goes by Peter Carlson, but Carlson holds him off, takes him in and closes the gate in the fence there. And now Hancock's got work to do behind the Peterborough captain. At the rear in the blue helmet colour is Nigel Sadler. In third place is Stuart Robson. But the battle out front between two Grand Prix stars, Peter Carlson in red, the Swede, the captain of Peterborough. Greg Hancock in white, the American, the captain of Coventry. And at the moment, the Swede having the better of it.
Yeah, Tony, Greg Hancock does look very, very quick in second place, but he's not as quick as Peter Carlson. Peter is just flying, and he's riding that outside line, and he's going like an arrow from a bow out there.
Well, it's processional this one, but Peter Carlson is going pretty fast as he moves into the final lap. Remember, the yellow flag with the black cross indicates that, but now with half a lap to go down the back straight, Peter Carlson in the red helmet colour set for his third heat victory in 3 rides here tonight, ahead of Greg Hancock in white. Third in yellow and black is Stuart Robson. Yet again, the points are shared. The gap hardly moving. It's a ding-dong battle. It's never been more than 2 points all night. And at the moment now, it is Peterborough, the home team, 34. Coventry, the away team, 32. Lots to race for. With goes in red for Peterborough on the inside. It's Scott Robson, the reserve for Coventry, in yellow. He goes from gate 2. Gate 3, Brett Woodfield, the Peterborough reserve, the Aussie. And on the outside, it's Lee Richardson. And Lee Richardson won his first outing, 2 second places since, and is now top 200 points for Coventry this season. Just jangling a little bit. Starling Marshall having problems getting them up to takes. The crowd looking on expectantly, and away goes that Starling Marshall. The bikes lift a little bit, but Sam Taysar has a battle there with Lee Richardson. Lee Richardson picks it up. Taysar locks up. Richardson extends the lead. His teammate and partner Scott Robson is with him. Tail off at the rear is Brett Woodfield, but Sam Taysar will now have to battle for that second place, and goes round the outside, cuts across Scott Robson. Robson comes back, a tremendous battle in second place, but Lee Richardson out front has stolen a march, Peter, and Sam Taysar now has work to do.
Yeah, 2 contrasting lines here. Sam Taysar's riding the outside, and Scott Robson is trying around the inside, but out in front there, Lee Richardson's having a great ride, but just look here, Scott Robson's back in the thick of things here with Taysar again, Tony.
ding-dong battle in second place with the lap and a quarter to go now, but Lee Richardson a 25-metre lead now. Sam Taysar moves into second place. It will revert to all level if it stays with this order in this heat 12, and we go to heat 13 on level pegging. A tremendous climax in prospect here, but Lee Richardson takes the checkered flag ahead of Sam Taysar. Third place belongs to Scott Robson. That's a 4-2 margin to the visitors from Coventry. It's 36 all with 12 heats gone and 3 to go. We can have any of 3 results here. A tremendous battle that, but Lee Richardson stole a march from that first bend and down the back straight.
So I was just saying to Sam, the track's changed a lot and it's got very slick on the inside, and there's a little bit of a dirt line on the outside if you can get out in front. So the track's holding up pretty good, I think, and it's good for racing.
I think Sam wants to get out there and join you.
Well, the thing of it is, Lee just said to me, you know, it's like the first caption of him, you know, the first thing is, God, we made so many changes. You did, you made a lot of changes. Explain what you've done.
Yeah, all I've been doing is taking sprockets off the back. The rear sprocket's just dropping teeth. I've dropped 4 teeth since the first race,
yeah, so
which is a lot.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be pulling in and working good from the start as well.
You're so explosive from the start. I said that earlier. I mean, that one you just boom. And Sam Taysar's no slouch around here. He's very quick and he's on the inside gate. I thought for sure he's going to push you straight over the top of him. There's another view of it right here. Just see it. Just look how far in front you are already.
Yeah, I just got across, and I thought he was going to push me a bit harder there, but I think I was already across him, which was fortunate for me. And then I could sort of just ride my own race from there on, really.
And your partner actually was right with you on the inside there.
Yeah, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't look, because last time I looked, PK passed me on the inside when I looked on the outside, so I thought it was better that I just keep my head down and get going.
We did see that, so it was on television.
Oh, good, yeah, that's just what
we don't miss much.
No, you know, that was just a mistake I made. It does happen, I'm sure. You know, a lot of riders have done it in the past, but, you know...
Just the experience. You just know that a hunter like him, he's going to hunt you down to the end, you got to keep going.
Yeah, he's a bit silly, really, because I know he always comes underneath people, especially... he rode at Wolverhampton for a long time, and he's a hard rider, and I don't know why he looked on the outside of me, but...
Well, you brought your team back into the hunt now, so they're going into the next 3 races. So Heat 13's coming up. It's a pretty critical one, so you've done a good job out there, Lee. Yeah,
it was good for me to win that one, and like you say, Heat 13, real hard race, and we're going to see a really good racer. I think you see PK's unbeaten at the moment, and Screeny's a racer, and Greg's on fire, so... Going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, you set it up nicely. We don't need to say any more. Well done.
For victory, Coventry have Greg Hancock here in the white helmet colours on the inside. Ronnie Corrie, the Peterborough guest, in red goes from gate 2. Joe Screen, the guest for Coventry, he goes in yellow from gate 3, and on the outside it's Peter Carlson, who already has 3 wins from 3 rides here. Peter Carlson, and he knows the track now since coming here mid-season, reaps the reward of success. Heat number 13 just about to get underway. Up by the tapes and away on the inside goes Greg Hancock. Oh, problems at the back there in yellow. Joe Screen goes wide, and now he's in last place, but Peter Carlson picks it up round the outside to steal the jump on Greg Hancock, and now Hancock has work to do. Screen is moving into second place. If it stays like this, it'll stay level, but Peter Carlson is flying and set for his 4th heat victory of the night if he does this, and he really stole the march there on Greg Hancock on the first bend.
Yeah, Peter Carlson is definitely the fastest man here tonight. Just look at him there. He's pulling away from Greg Hancock, although Greg won't be giving up, but Peter Carlson is riding the quick line right out on that outside. Greg Hancock really is having to go on the inside, but there really isn't enough grip low down.
A lap and a quarter to go. Hancock won't give up. Carlson is out front. Carlson goes into the final lap in front by some 4 or 5 metres now, and could be set for a maximum here tonight, Peter Carlson. At the back, whoa, tailed off is the man in red now, Ronnie Corrie. Peter said a disappointing night for him, but not for this man. Peter Carlson takes it ahead of Greg Hancock and Joe Screen, and yet another share of the points, and we go into the final 2 heats at 39 apiece. A tremendous speedway meeting here at the East of England Showground, and Peterborough's captain, Peter Carlson, produces his 4th heat victory.
Well, I knew I had to make a good start, to get across the boys, because the outside line is kind of gone in the first and second corner, so I really had to clamp him on the inside.
Dude, you were fast. Real fast. You made a really great start.
Yeah.
Clamp him on the inside. Heck, you left him.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was all I had to go for, to make a start, and luckily I made a super start. It's pretty hard to come from 4 here late in the meeting, and pretty happy about it.
So if you were to choose which gate for Heat 15, which one would it be?
Inside, I think.
Okay, well that's a great
2 heats to go. Where's the problems, if you've got any?
For myself, I don't think it should.
Well, for the overall team as well.
Well, yeah, for the team. I mean, we're doing all right, you know, but we're kind of lacking top power, you know.
Well, I have a prediction.
Go. Well, we like to hear that. Go on.
Well, I bet on you guys possibly losing, but I think you're going to win it. Because in the next heat, I think you're going to be a lot stronger.
Sam's
That's my
coming in.
prediction.
Sam Tazar, right, is coming in to do your rider replacement.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that, but yeah, I mean, if we can get the scores towards the last heat, before the last heat, I'm definitely going to do my best to win it.
Well, it's going to come down to it. You don't want to lose that maximum, do you?
I don't think so.
Okay,
All right, we'll let you get back there and start thinking about it. Let's find out.
The rider in blue is going to be absolutely vital here. He's got to back up Sam Tazar's efforts, and if Sean Tacey and John Jorgensen can get ahead of Nigel Sadler, and Nigel has finished last in 3 of his 5 races tonight, he goes from the inside in blue. Sean Tacey for Coventry in white, gate 2. Peterborough, Sam Tazar, gate 3. On the outside, John Jorgensen in yellow and black. And John Jorgensen, as Sam said, just 2 points from his 3 rides so far tonight. Peterborough reserve, guesting last week, we saw him playing important part of Vauxhall Heath. And away he does make it from the tapes there, and this is vital for the home side. Nigel Sadler's out front, with him is Sam Tazar in red. An opportunity for team riding ahead of the Coventry pair, because they're at the back are Sean Tacey in white and John Jorgensen in yellow. But this is what they want. But look, they've come past Nigel Sadler as if he was standing still, and this is going to make it level going into the final race. Sam Tazar has extended his lead ahead of the Coventry pair.
Yeah, it looks as though Sam Tazar is going to win this one, but certainly for Coventry to draw this heat, John Jorgensen has got to hang on to that 3rd place because he's coming under increasing pressure from Nigel Sadler.
Well, disappointment for Sadler, who made the gate, has really gone backwards since then, Peter, and with a lap and a quarter to go, it now looks as if this will be yet another 3-all, and the whole meeting will have gone by without a bigger gap than 2 points between the teams, and that is something pretty special, because out front, Sam Tazar now is steaming down that back straight, and he's going to get his 2nd heat victory of the night. The Czech looks back, the Czech takes the checkered flag, and in 2nd place in white, Sean Tacey, ahead of John Jorgensen, makes it 3 points apiece. We go into the final race at 42 points all. It can still go any way as Sam Tazar earns his 2nd heat victory of the night.
To play it safe, but Sean Tacey comes into the picture here. Sean does that very tight first turn, stops Nigel Sadler, and that allows John Jorgensen to nick by him for that 2nd place. He's in front, that's exactly where he wants to be, but there, that manoeuvre there, we had 1 rider go inside, 1 rider go outside there of Nigel Sadler, and that allowed the Coventry pair to go there to get that 3-3 and certainly keep Coventry in the match.
Again, the humidity hindering and getting under his visor there, and of course we know he wears glasses as well, so a bigger problem for the Swede Peter Carlson. He's one of our Grand Prix riders. Remember the Grand Prix a week on Saturday from Boyens, live on Sky Sports. Man in red there, Peter Carlson. Man in white, Greg Hancock, he too in the Grand Prix, of course. We see the white helmet colour. Blue helmet colour is Sam Tazar, the flying Czech, and on the outside in yellow, Lee Richardson, the current World Under-21 champion. Our starting marshal moves away, and away they go, line abreast into that first bend. Picking it up is Greg Hancock, who got the flyer, and now his teammate and partner Lee Richardson round the outside, but coming through into 2nd place is Peter Carlson, and if it stays like this, the wind will go the way of Coventry, because work has to be done at the back for Sam Tazar. But Peter Carlson in 2nd place, out front it's Greg Hancock, but coming through and battling into 2nd place, Lee Richardson. Well, anything can happen here. What a finish.
What a finish. This looks to be going the right way for Coventry, there's no doubt, but on the inside, Peter Carlson won't give up. At first he had the challenge there of Lee Richardson, but he seems to be shaking that off, but Greg Hancock seems to be pulling away, Tony.
With a lap and a half to go, Coventry could be set here for only their 2nd ever win at the East of England Showground. Greg Hancock into the final lap in front, ahead of the unbeaten Peter Carlson tonight. All going to go for the last half lap, but Hancock holds it at the moment. Carlson looks to be going backwards. Back in 3rd place is Lee Richardson in yellow. Carlson can't catch him. Hancock, oh, look at the end here, and we've got the 3-all because engine failure for Lee Richardson has seen the man in blue come through into 2nd place, Sam Tazar. The crowd has gone wild because that cost Coventry dear. Another 3-all for the 11th time tonight, and Colin Pratt Well, he knows that it was all thrown away on that final bend with technical problems for Lee Richardson. Greg Hancock was superb. Sam Taysar and Peter Carlson, they followed him home. And in the end, I suppose it's justice for the second week running on Sky Sports at 45 all here. Colin Pratt can't believe it. Greg Hancock is showing off on the track, and the fireworks here at the East of England Showground are going into the summer's night. Greg Hancock
from Peter Carlson on the outside. Greg was riding very tight, but Carlson just didn't have the speed round the outside. He was having to go far too far, but on the last corner, total disappointment there for Lee Richardson and Coventry. Colin Pratt must be totally distraught. I believe the big end had gone on his machine. The conrod seized up in the big end, and that's the end of his engine. And that win for Coventry was thrown away by that one engine failure.
That is confirmed, and Peter Cole.
Of course, I think it was a fair result. You know, both teams had some injury problems, and been a good speedway match, and we'll both go here from here with 1 point each.
Yeah. Well, Colin Pratt, we saw you watching on there, and obviously throwing your hat down in despair seeing Lee do finishing that way, because it was coming your way at one point.
Well, I was, more concerned watching Greg at that point, like and Peter, pushing them all away, and I took my eye off of Lee and that, and all of a sudden when I looked round, I didn't realise like Lee had packed up. So but there you are. That's the way it goes, and as Peter says, 1 point apiece. All on everything Saturday at Coventry.
All smiles for Jim too.
Well, I feel sorry for Lee, because it was a great ride, wasn't it? But that's Speedway, isn't it? Really, I mean, it happens that way, and I think it was a fair result, because it was a good contest.
I was about to say, your job's sometimes some of the hardest in speedways, because when you lose a Billy Hamill, when you lose a Ryan Sullivan, you've got your work cut out, and you guys have done a great job to fill the holes today, to get your replacements in, and to work what you need to do right. Are you pleased with the result in that respect?
Yeah, at the end of the day, like when you have to piece these guests together and that, come in at short notice and that, it is always hard, to do, and re-alter the pairings of the teams and that, But as I say, it's worked for both of us today, and I suppose at the end of the day, it's a fair result, though I'd like to won.
And of course, how long will Ryan be out? Because you don't want to keep putting up with that problem.
I think he's almost certainly going to be out sort of Saturday night, but then hopefully, it is a virus, so it's only a time thing. So I'm hoping he's going to be back. I think our next home match is back here on television against Kings Lynn, and there's nobody allowed to be ill or anything against Kings Lynn.
Obviously, we're going to watch both of Eastbourne and Kings Lynn's action throughout the last day. Let's take a look at the Elite League table, and with all you guys here, Ipswich were in action tonight as well, 47-43 over Oxford. So a good result for them, but I don't know, Greg.